Welcome back, everybody, to the Filmmakers Roundtable. I'm your host, Ryan Long, and today we are going to be doing episode 3 of the Filmmakers Roundtable. Today we are going to be talking about indie filmmaking, more specifically student filmmaking, because in the past few weeks, if you guys follow us on any of our social media sites, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, you have probably noticed that we have been in production on a major film. So this film that we're going to talk about it today, we're going to talk about For These Eyes Only. We're also going to talk a little bit about Dark Force episodes 4 and 3. Going to talk a little bit about the struggles of trying to film documentaries as a student filmmaker, and just some of the other projects that we've done or plan to do. So first up, how are we guys?
I'm very tired.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm fine.
Yeah.
All right. So with me is the returning cast of Riley and Tom. Probably should have mentioned that earlier, but oh well. We will just keep on going here. So first up, I want to talk a little bit about this documentary that we just did. It's For These Eyes Only, and we are premiering that actually the day that this video is going up, March 6th, but we were filming this a few weeks in advance just because our schedules are looking to be a little bit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So what we are doing in this documentary, it is for the Johnson County Film Festival. And this is Tom and I's documentary, but Riley has stepped up really big for us.
Absolutely.
And was just absolutely amazing. So thank you again for your assistance.
I'm glad you guys
Giving
called
us-
to me for that.
Yeah, giving us rides and being the transportation.
Yeah, not only that, but helping move gear.
Absolutely.
And especially with like the filming process.
We probably would have collapsed if it weren't. We didn't have
Well,
you.
I'm just glad I was you guys' crutch. You know, it makes me happy because you guys' overall the documentary is absolutely fantastic. It is
Thank you.
great piece of work, and I'm super excited for you guys to put that in the film fest. I'm so excited.
Okay.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about the film festival. Not go on too much of a rant about it, because
It's quite a story.
It is quite a story. If you recall last year, for those of you who have been following us, we did a documentary called Out of Darkness, and we interviewed some people here at Franklin, but we also talked to some people up at Roncalli High School.
And if you want to see a vlog, I did that for last year and the year before. So check that out on my YouTube channel.
Yep, we
Thomas
will put a
Bolt.
link in the description down below, as always. And so let's talk a little bit about the film festival. So going in this year, last year, like I was saying, we entered Out of Darkness, and we took second place by about half a point, what it came down to. And, you know, we were sophomores at the time. We just sort of entered, and we were like, okay, let's try this.
Did well for sophomore.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And so this year, we're definitely stepping our game up. In my eyes, it's the best work that we've ever done in terms of the documentary.
I say so.
I will agree.
Yeah.
Within the documentary category, of course, because you can't really compare it to something like Dark Force or Passion Never Stops.
Yeah, but we'll get to those later.
Yes, but so talking a little bit about the film festival, when we entered Out of Darkness, it was called the Franklin Film Festival, and this year Whiteland is hosting. And so it's a bit of a tricky situation because our former teacher, Don Wettrick, was the one who made the call about it, that the winning school would host. So Whiteland obviously isn't wanting to host like a Franklin Film Festival, which I can sort of understand why they would change the name to the Johnson County Film Festival. But a little bit that I don't necessarily agree with is that they've limited it to Johnson County schools.
Yes.
So if Wettrick had students in Noblesville that wanted to enter, they couldn't.
No.
And so, and one of the weird things is they invited Martinsville, which is a Morgan County school.
Yeah, that's.
I think if they would have a film festival, you know, like Indiana, like student film festival, or whatever, as hosted by Franklin, Indiana, I think that would be cool.
That's essentially what it was.
Yes.
Well, I mean, just like, but now it's so limited just to Johnson County, and there's so much out there, man. You know, if we were to, if we were to get from people from the north, I bet they'd be doing great stuff, and
it would give us more competition.
Oh yeah,
and
it
I
definitely
know
would.
of a few people at Ben Davis in Indianapolis that are pretty decent. So
yeah, and so we did enter the film festival. We are actually the only film to be entering from Franklin.
Yeah.
So it's a little nerve-wracking going into it because we're pretty much putting the entire program on our back.
Yeah.
to
putting the whole festival on our back.
Yeah, pretty much. We're in it to win it this year.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's the only attitude you guys have to have with this is you're going to win it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a weird situation being in because we're juniors, and typically when the film festival started here, the only people that were allowed to enter were seniors because it would be a senior project. That's what it was. I think 3 years ago. And then that all changed 2 years ago when Sam Meyer and Austin Schmidt won. They won as juniors.
Yeah.
And so...
Took a nosedive the next year, but that's a whole nother story. Whole nother podcast, whole nother story.
So, and then in the following year, of course, Tom and I entered Out of Darkness and took second. So we were sophomores. So we pretty much opened the film festival up to more FCTV students.
Yeah.
So anybody who has the passion for it, anybody who has the time for it, we've given them that opportunity. And so the teacher, obviously, Mr. Hankins, has allowed us to do it. Mm-hmm. So going into the festival, I have no idea what to expect. Because we are one film, two filmmakers, plus Riley as a...
Plus Riley.
Because...
Well, one. Anyway.
Anyways, I lost my train of thought there. Hang on. We are one film going against at least 13 from Whiteland and maybe 8 from Martinsville. Yeah. So we're looking to compete against like 21 films.
Although only 8 are going to be shown.
Yes, and only 8 are shown.
Yes.
And 4 get prizes.
Yeah. So I have no doubt that we'll be not cut.
We'll be shown.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like the only way if they were just like, no, we're not showing this if like, you know, if your guys' documentary looked really puny compared to like what everyone else had, you know, but that's a total long shot.
Yeah.
That is such
They would
a
have to
long
be
shot.
like Red Epic.
Yeah. Like okay, we should probably be showing these at like a legit premiere, but no, I'm telling you, you know, cinematography alone, you guys have this in the bag.
Yeah.
So we've talked enough about the film festival now.
Yeah.
I want to talk actually about the movie itself.
Yes. That's a good one.
We actually started filming.
We started filming this month. Actually.
It was
like the first of this month.
Yeah, we had been in pre-production for I don't know how long, several months.
Yeah.
Just tossing ideas back and forth, and nothing ever really clicked for us.
We actually started another documentary at Technology in Schools. Although I'm not sure what we were gonna do with that. We only shot 2 interviews.
We shot I think 3.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we took a day up and went to Noblesville.
Yeah.
And but nothing ever really clicked because, like I said, we're in it to win it this year, and it took us a long time to find the documentary idea that would fit. The best we've tossed around maybe 4 or 5, 6 ideas.
Yeah,
and so going back and forth, and this was just the one that clicked. So and we almost completely pulled out of the film festival.
Oh yeah,
and so
we were so close to just going like, you know, screw it, let's just, you know, take more time, go to Heartland or wherever else there's film festivals.
But nevertheless, we ended up saying, all right, screw it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so we started pre-pro, like full-on pre-pro, where we just dropped everything else, and we went in about February 1st, and that weekend we were shooting.
Yeah.
And so it was very stressful.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a fun shoot, nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. A lot of fun. Time of my life. I loved it.
I'm really glad I got to go on this and hear these people's stories.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because I got to talk and listen to these people that, you know, I see on the news every morning, like Russ McQuaid, for instance. That blew me out of the water.
Yeah.
I love Russ McQuaid.
Tell him what he's like.
He is literally the Han Solo of journalism.
Yes.
That guy is a badass. And oh my God, he is so cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we've talked a bit too much about the documentary without saying what the documentary is.
That's very true. You haven't said anything about what the documentary is.
So, For These Eyes Only is the title of the film, and it's about the side of the news that the public typically won't see. The idea came about when Tom and I were talking with our teacher, who is a former photographer for Wish TV, a local news station here in Indy. And he was talking, and he was like, well, there aren't many, like he was shooting one day and there was a house fire and he pans down and he sees a dead body. He didn't know if it was white or black because of how charred it was. And that got me thinking, what else does the public doesn't see?
Yeah.
And so we started talking back and forth and we were like, this is a story that has to be told,
Absolutely.
which is the theme for the film festival.
Yeah.
So we're telling a story that has to be told because it's never told.
Yeah.
And so...
And, like, here's the thing. Like, we're talking, like national news. Like, if you go to, like, the BBC or Al Jazeera, like those are completely different. Their guidelines are different, like, because they show stuff from Iraq, and
they'll straight up be like, here's the dead baby.
There's bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
Like this, we're talking about stuff here in the United States. So
yeah, like the local news.
It doesn't apply here,
and
for good reason.
Yeah, and so some of the places that we went and some of the people you hear from in the documentary, we of course have Mr. Hankins, who is a freelance photographer, former photographer for Wish TV and Fox, and he's been all over the place. Mm-hmm. We got Lori Wilson, who is an anchor at Wish TV.
She's awesome.
Yeah, Joy Hernandez, who is a big behind-the-scenes person at Wish.
Unfortunately, we could only salvage one part of the interview.
Yeah,
which is so sad.
I know.
It was a 30-minute interview.
Yeah,
but don't worry. If you want to see the extended interviews, I'll upload them.
Yeah,
I'll be uploading.
And so we also interviewed Robert Shear from the Indy Star. That was a fantastic interview.
That guy was really, really
That's
nice.
my favorite interview, that in terms of how it looks. That's my favorite one.
I love their location. Seriously,
yeah.
For those who know the Indy Star, if you've they moved into a new place not that long ago. And,
it was within the past year.
From what I'm aware of, their old place wasn't very good. It was
they kept
nasty,
talking about how awful it was.
But this one was just wow. It's beautiful.
It's very modern.
Yeah, very modern, really relaxed.
It's like a very open workshop.
And it has a lounge. We don't have a lounge.
No,
we don't.
It gave off like a Google vibe, which I really liked. I liked that a lot about how you just relaxed it was in general. But.
Yeah.
And then the last person we interviewed in the documentary, which was the last interview, pretty much we interviewed Kevin the day that it was kind of due. But anyways, like Riley said, we also interviewed Russ McQuaid from Fox 59, and that was an experience in itself.
Yes,
it was fun.
Oh yeah.
He answers the phone. Ryan calls him, and he says, "Russ."
No, he said
McQuade.
McQuade, I forgot. Just hearing him is so cool. You're just you just bask in his entirety of him being alive. You're just like, you're cool.
Yeah.
You're just a cool human being, man. And he was just a cool guy.
Yeah. And so in terms of production, I want to know what are your guys' favorite parts of doing the production side of it?
Oh man, I can't. I mean, going into Wish, like the control, or just being in like that whole center vibe area that Wish at Wish, that was just. I think because I'd seen that on TV so many years, and like, oh man, I love going to Fox. And by the way, we actually got to sit on the Fox and Wish TV anchor tables
and CBS4.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Whenever
and we all took pictures, which you can probably find on our Facebooks.
Whenever we went with Russ and he was giving us a tour, which was really cool because none of us asked for a tour; they just gave it to us. But when Russ McQuaid was giving us a tour, he was like, "That's where the anchors sit. Sit down, hold that sign, look happy, take a picture. Okay, now switch spots."
Yeah.
And you're just like,
you just know that this guy's in charge.
Yeah, you're just like, man, you've seen some stuff, and I'm not gonna question you whatsoever. So. I don't know. That was cool. I don't know. We got treated with respect.
Yeah.
Which I really liked because, going into this, I was just like, man, I wonder if they're going to think, you're some high school kids or whatever. And that wasn't the case at all.
Oh, no.
We very much acted more professional than what you would typically see from a high school.
Whenever we first got, to Indy Star, Bob Shear was... He was like, okay, you guys can go, get your stuff or whatever. And we came back with, armloads of stuff. And he was like, oh, you guys mean business. And
he's like, you guys got some really nice gear. We mean business. We're out to win.
Nose up in the air. Just like,
whatever.
Yeah. My favorite part would probably be interviewing Lori Wilson on the set at Wish.
Man, that was cool.
That was an experience.
That was
It was
really
a lot of fun.
cool.
Their guest stage and everything.
And we didn't have to light it.
No,
That's true.
they had their own lighting.
Yeah.
And that was the one less thing we had to carry around because the lights are a bitch to carry around.
They were really bulky to carry around.
Especially mostly the light bulbs, those things are like that big. So
And I really like how like when we went to like Indie Star and Wish and Fox, they were just like walk around, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Don't break anything, but do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because going into it, I thought these people would be more like, okay, you guys have to have this one person with you at all times.
Yeah.
We have to look at all the footage before we actually let you see it.
No, they were just like,
but they were like, all right,
let's get it over with.
Yeah.
And I think knowing Kevin and having Kevin as our teacher
That
really helped.
That
Probably
definitely
did,
helped,
yeah.
man. That definitely helps.
So we probably should talk about editing.
Oh my God.
That was
Post-production
experience,
was an experience.
and Riley's gonna learn what it was like. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't tell you.
This is an exciting story for me.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to actually open my calendar here real quick so that way I can sort of get an estimate of what the timetable looked like. So we shot 2 interviews on the 8th of February. That was at, one was at Wish and the other was at Indie Star. That was our most, like, travel day, I guess.
Yeah.
Had to pay for parking.
Yeah, pay for parking, which was really the only money that we spent on this.
Well, we had to go eat one day.
Yeah, eating, yeah.
And he
Are
actually,
you talking about the pass?
Yes,
Oh
he
my
lost
God.
the parking.
And it was right underneath his seat.
under my
seat, and we were gonna have to
seat.
pay like $22.
Yeah, that guy
that I
was
did
like-
not have because I paid for parking.
That guy was
so-
like, man, I'm sure glad you had that because I didn't want you paying no $20, and I was just like, okay, here's this. I'm going away now. I want to
So
okay, anyway, back on topic.
So the schedule, we filmed 2 interviews, one at Wish and then one at Indie Star at the 8th. And then on the 10th, we went back to Wish and interviewed Lori Wilson.
Yep.
And then from then until the 15th, we started editing, like immediately.
Yeah.
We started syncing footage, we started color grading, we started picking out what sound bites we wanted.
Yeah.
And then the 15th of February was the day that we went to Fox. We got there around 11. And then it was nice because we had the next Monday off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which would come back to bite us in the butt, actually, because the following day, which was a Tuesday, the 17th, we ended up having a 2-hour delay, which we were like, okay, fine, whatever. The original due date was that Friday, the 20th, so we had about 3 days to get it done, printed, burned, edited, everything.
Yep.
So the following day, Wednesday and Thursday, we actually have snow days.
Yes, it was just ridiculously cold and
It was
snowy.
so
awful.
cold
Yeah.
and so snowy. Which it was nice to get a break from everything,
Yeah.
but when you have a film that's due on that Friday.
Thankfully, they were nice enough to extend the deadline, but only for one day.
Yeah,
because
One day.
They pushed
Yeah,
it to the 23rd, so we had the weekend to edit.
and
Which that weekend in itself.
because like the next day, the Thursday after the Thursday, we got off, but Whiteland didn't.
Oh,
So
I
they
got
only-
you.
Yeah. And so we had school that Friday, the 20th. We were on 2-hour delay, so about 30-minute classes, at least for our FCTV classes.
So awesome.
Yeah,
that's
no,
awesome.
we don't do anything
No.
really,
No.
except like edit. That's how our day went.
That's
And so as soon as I got home, Tom and I got on a Google Hangout, and we were like, all right, let's finish this thing.
yeah.
We finished the film probably around 11, so we were pulling like a 12-hour workday.
Yeah.
With very little break.
Crazy.
Yeah,
With
you see,
a very little
no,
breaks.
No, listen. Here's where it gets better.
Here's where it does get better. So I'm like, all right, I'll catch you tomorrow, Tom. It's like 11. I'm going to export this thing, and then we'll watch it, and we'll see, okay, what do we need to change?
Right.
I don't think you knew what happened next, but overnight, I set it to export, and I didn't wake up till like 11 in the next morning because of how much we put into that day. And so what happened was the export froze at 31%. And Premiere wasn't responding. So naturally,
It gets even better.
I would go and force quit Premiere. I go to reopen the project, and I get this error saying there's a sequence codec missing. And so guess how I spent my Saturday?
Oh my god.
Re-editing
Yes,
the entire
whole
film, but it
thing.
gets even better.
But before you go on,
That's
we
awful.
had to give each other some motivation, motivation pep talk. So, but it worked. So anyway, back to
So, It took me like 9 hours to re-edit the entire thing.
Oh.
Because I knew the sound bites, so it was a bit quicker. I knew how I did the color grade and everything.
So killer! Oh my god, I would kill myself.
But now, Riley, still,
so
we haven't even gotten to the best part
yet.
yet.
My god, there's more.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
Oh no!
So I go to export this one, and I'm trying every codec possible, and I get Premiere cannot export movie, can't compile. So I'm like, okay, I'll turn on my computer off and turn it back on.
We still had the project.
The project worked. I opened it back up. It exported. It was fine.
Yeah.
So the original.
This is the exporting was the problem.
Yes.
Like trying to
And so going back into the screening, we ended up screening it to I think 3 classes this past Monday.
Really?
Yeah, we screened it to second period, intro, and 7th period.
I knew we did it for intro. I knew. Okay.
We showed the senior class.
Wait,
and
did you show Innovations?
No, we didn't.
No.
We were
Need
burning.
to.
Okay.
You're right.
Need to. You really need to. Do that tomorrow.
And so
we will probably do that.
I
will.
Anyways, I'm gonna try and wrap up talking about this documentary here in a minute.
Okay.
But I get it to export. I ended up rendering 3 different files because at 3 different times I was like, okay, I need to fix this, or I'm nitpicky about this, so I fix this.
Yeah.
We get here to school Monday. I plug in my hard drive to the iMac that we edited the majority of the film on, and it opens the original project. And so that's the one we turned in. Because I love that cut 10 times more, and there's like 30 seconds that was cut in the second edit, I guess. So,
oh my.
But nonetheless, the film is done. It's
God.
turned in, and it looks amazing.
Oh yes, it does.
And so,
that's so irritating. Oh, that's so irritating.
yeah. And so I want to transition now from the projects that we've done, so stuff that we just finished, into what you can expect in the future coming from us.
Oh, yes.
And so one major thing that Tom's put a lot of time into
yes.
is Dark Force. And as you guys can probably check out, the first link in the description down below will be his channel where you can check out just his vlog about Out of Darkness, the film festival, as well as Dark Force Episode 4.
Yes.
And so we are gearing up to do Episode 3 here soon. So Tom, tell me a little bit about it.
So where do I start? Episode 3?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Episode 3 is the prequel, obviously, to Episode 4 we just did. This takes place between the beginning of the war between the Republic and the Federation. Mm-hmm. So, and here is where Ormond Kyron, who's the general we met in the first one, his old apprentice comes back to, the Federation launches an assault on the Jedi and the Republic. So, and his apprentice, his name is Danon, he's coming after Ormond. So, and then they have a big epic duel, and then, the Republic and the Federation are duking it out on the outside.
Yeah.
So,
Who's Jack Davis playing in that movie?
Jack is going to be Danon.
Oh,
So.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
cool. I'm excited
in
about
Episode 4, Riley was Mace.
I had
So,
much
and
fun
he's going to
doing
be
that.
back here again. So, and I'm going to just show them something I have here.
You wanted me to do choreography again for that?
No, Jack and I have already started doing
cool.
that. So,
Yeah. So, talk to me a little bit about what goes into making these movies.
I was just going to get into that. This 3 pages of shot list. So, I know you probably can't see it that well, but
I'll just flash a screenshot.
okay, yeah. 3 pages of shot list, and this is just for the duel in itself.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot more.
So
that
you
goes
definitely
into
went
it.
more in depth with the choreography.
Well, this is just for like the shots in the choreography.
Right.
So, but in the duel itself. But anyway, there's that, and I gotta start doing storyboards. I'm storyboarding this whole duel out. I'm not. I don't know if I'll do it for the whole movie, but I probably should. But still, that goes into it. Oh man, I don't even know where to go from here.
Yeah. So, talk to me a little about the timetable that you're going to put into the film.
Well, all the month of March we're going to be shooting. That's it. We don't shoot every day in March, but that March is the only time frame I'm going to give to shoot this, because give April and May time for visual effects and sound and editing and all that jazz. So.
And so, this is just one of the many projects that we've done and plan to do.
This is the biggest project.
But going back to our theme today of student filmmaking and indie filmmaking is that there's a lot of projects that we want to do that sometimes don't get off the ground, or a lot of times, as Ryan Connolly puts it, we have to wear multiple hats or jobs that go into these productions. So you're the director of photography. Riley's an actor, but he also will help choreograph fights. And
I script, I act, I film, whatever.
Yeah. And so there's so many things that we have to do. But a few weeks ago, we were actually trying to shoot a documentary with Colin, Steven, and Trent. And I don't want to talk about this too much, but when we're just relying on 2-3 people, things sometimes can get crazy. Things can get hectic.
Yeah.
And when we were going up to shoot
the first time,
we were gonna do it one weekend. It was too cold to do it, so we were like, all right, so we'll shoot the next weekend. This is weekend 2 of trying to shoot. Mm-hmm. We get on 65, and this is
back when I had a car.
Yeah, I'll let you take the story.
Okay, well, my car was acting up, and her name was Padme. So we were. Awesome. I know. I'll tell you what my next car's name's gonna be in a minute, but whatever. Anyway, we're going on 65. My car's not going past 40, and I'm flooring it, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So we decide to
beep.
Yeah, we decide to get off on Southport, and
it just stopped.
Yeah, we had to go up to a stoplight off the ramp, off the exit, and
as soon as we stop, the car stops as well. Yeah. And so we're sitting there for 10 minutes, probably.
Well, something like that. But thankfully, some guy in his It
was like a PT Cruiser.
Yeah, this guy comes in and we talking, and I look down and then there's antifreeze all over the ground. I'm like, shit. Okay, so he says, "Hey, I'll give you a push." And I was like, "All right." So I get back in, and
and we thought that he was gonna help us push, I was gonna get out of the car, and we were gonna physically push it.
But no, he actually literally pushed it with his car.
Yeah, he pushes our car, which was what was it, like a Taurus?
90. It was a '96 Taurus. So.
Yeah, and he's pushing it with his little PT Cruiser for probably half a mile.
Yeah, and
It's impressive you guys stayed together though.
Yeah,
that's really
impressive. But we got it going for a little bit,
and just enough to roll into the speedway at Padme's final resting place.
Yep.
Rest in peace.
Yep. Rip. It's probably a cube by now.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah. And so, I want to hear a little bit from you, Riley. What do you think about, wearing multiple hats, so to speak, in production?
Man, I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I love it. So actually, I really enjoy acting, but my favorite thing as a filmmaker to do is scripting.
Maybe you could help with episode 1 and 2 of Dark
I'd love to do that, but not to. I don't know. I'm really creative, and Jacob Goldfarb and Brad Gonzalez, and even Preston can back me up on this.
Yes.
I can think of something like that.
Yeah.
My scripting methods are really weird. They make sense to me. Whatever I see in my head, I write down exactly what I see, and right now, currently, I'm writing a script which is confidential right now.
Understandable.
But
I hate a lot of those.
I don't know. Yeah. I loved it. Whenever I was working with, running against Grizzlies, it was hard because one, I had to script. Jacob Goldfarb helped shoot. Actually, he did most of the shooting. But then I acted as director as well, and I really like playing the role as director because I'm
You're good at talking.
Yeah, I am. I'm working the strings pretty much behind the scenes, and I really like doing that.
As a producer.
Yeah. And so, and then I'm also acting, and I'm not sure if it's selfish or not. I was just having a conversation about this. Is it weird that whenever I'm writing a script, I'm always the main character? Is that weird?
I mean,
not really.
I don't know if you consider Ormond the main character in episode 3.
True.
Yeah.
If you think Ormond is
one of the main characters.
Well, yeah. I mean, he wasn't in episode 4. Yeah. You and Preston were the main characters. Yeah. But I don't do that on purpose. It's just
it's just how it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of up to the audience, I guess. But
I don't know, because it's like almost every single film that I've done, I've always been the main character, and I don't know why I do it, but I do, and then it always ends up being really well or whatever. And then I'll tell you, one of the things I struggle with, but I love doing it, is editing. I love editing, but when it came with Running Against Grizzlies, I had lost all motivation. I had lost all motivation.
We understand that.
Yeah.
Oh my god! But then when friggin' Hankins was like, "Okay, if you don't get this done, you fail." We're like, "Okay, now we have to get this done now.
Yeah.
We have no other choice." So we got it done. And Running Against Grizzlies was decent.
Yeah,
I'd like to go back and to redo it because it seemed rushed, and the people I was working with weren't really happy to be working with me at that time or whatever. But
understandable.
So, looks like we're about out of time. We got about a minute left until the bell rings. So, if you guys want to check out any of the stuff we've talked about for These Eyes Only, premieres March 6th at the Johnson County Film Festival at the Art Craft Theater. You can check out Dark Force Episode 4 over on Tom's channel as well as his vlog.
But I'd say wait for the special edition, March 9th.
March 9th.
So.
All right. So, Riley Gilbert, Thomas Bolt, thank you all for being here today. I'm Ryan Long. We would like to give a big shout out to Preston Ankney behind the scenes, running our switcher, running audio, making sure everything goes smoothly behind the scenes. So I want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode 4 of the Filmmakers Roundtable. There's the bell.
Perfect
we got to go.
Timing.
Peace out.
Back to our miserable lives.
Hail Hydra.